Good morning. So this is Two Chicks on LinkedIn coming to you again bright and early on a Tuesday morning. No guarantees on when we're going to post this video though, but we're recording on Tuesday morning. My name is Chantel Buerta. I'm a recruitment strategist and coach, and I met this lovely lady Stephanie on LinkedIn. Stephanie, introduce us to yourself. Introduce us to the audience.
Well done, Chantel. But you know what? In all fairness, before I introduce myself, let's just set the scene here while we are so tongue-tied. We were just about at the end of our recording, and for some reason, our video decided, now we're not doing anything anymore. So we started again. So this is officially take 3. Hi, I'm Stephanie, and I'm a creative designer, for the most part to mindset coaches, helping them be more visible on social media with their visual content. Back to you, Chantel.
Oh my word, they say 3 is a charm, isn't it? So guys, we met on LinkedIn.
Absolutely.
We've never met each other physically. Stephanie lives in Pretoria. I'm down in the beautiful Western Cape. But we are passionate about LinkedIn. We both use LinkedIn for our businesses. I help people who are in the job market to use LinkedIn for their job search. So we've walked a road with LinkedIn. We're not gurus or trainers or anything like that. What we're giving you is our opinion and stuff that's worked for us. So we're really just going through the profile at the moment, and we're picking out various points and features on your profile, and we're discussing how to use them. So today I'm going to share my screen with you, and we are going to be talking about career history today. So if you have a look at my career history, for instance, you can see when I'm self-employed, I've put a little bit of a story here. So you've always got to ask yourself, I'm really strong on purpose. You've always got to ask yourself, what is your purpose with your LinkedIn profile? Are you using it for business or are you using it for job search? I think if you're using it for business, a story works really well. You can see what Stephanie's done over here is she's also put stories in her career history. So this endears me to Stephanie. It lets me know her a little bit. It gives me an insight into who she is and what her drivers are. And from a business perspective, that's always exciting. However, when you're in the job market, I'm really strong on differentiators, and you can see my corporate career history. I have put my achievements under my work history. So I always say to people, tell me what you did and tell me what the outcome was. And that's what you want on your LinkedIn profile. Because in the job market, you effectively want a recruiter to land on your profile and think, wow, this person is the answer to all my problems or the solution to my needs, and I need to get hold of this person. So that's effectively it from a job search perspective. I know we were chatting previously. I just want to do a stop share quickly and just chat to you guys. Steph and I were chatting in the previous video about how important it is to put an end date on. There are so many people who are still working jobs when they're not in the job. Steph, your comments on that?
It's very confusing. You know, I'm a designer right now. My previous, I was an executive personal assistant. Now, if I still had the showing as an exec EA, executive assistant, oh God, I'm falling over myself over here. If I was still showing as working as an executive personal assistant, but I was still doing, and I'm doing my design as well, the two don't marry up. There's no correlation between the two unless I mentioned in my full-time job that I am doing design work as well, which I don't. So Chantal mentioned a very important aspect as well, where the one person was putting out content that's totally contradictory to what her profile showed. And you can't have that because people buy
from people
when they're not confused. Yes, they buy from people that don't confuse them. So if you confuse them, what message are you sending from a business perspective? What business message are you sending? That you're airy-fairy, you're all over the place. You may not be, but there's no consistency, and consistency is absolute key in all of business.
Absolutely. And I think I'm going to come back to purpose. What is the purpose of LinkedIn overall? LinkedIn is a professional networking site. be professional, and use it to network. And if your profile makes sense, whatever you do on LinkedIn will make sense.
Absolutely.
So let's talk. I'm going to share my screen again, and Stephanie is going to take us through company pages. So I just want to show you what happens when you've got a company page linked. You can see when I had my recruitment agency, there's no company page. But the other companies that I've worked for, there is a company page. And now Stephanie and I both have our own businesses, and we're both sort of linked to our company pages over here. And there is my company page. So Steph, tell us about company pages, pros and cons.
Company page, first and foremost, before we go anywhere, just because you have a logo on your company page does not necessarily mean that translates onto your personal profile, because mine doesn't. For some reason, mine doesn't. But be it as it may, it's neither here nor there. So the pros of a company page, it shows that you belong somewhere, that you have something, that you professional, for want of a better term. The bad part about it, it doesn't get any traction. I've got, for argument's sake, say 8 followers on LinkedIn. I mean, on my company profile. Yeah. That doesn't mean that the 1,000 plus, lots of 1,000 plus that I have on my personal profile necessarily follows my business page. So, you know, the two don't speak to one another in that regard. But what's nice about a business page as well is you can share things over there, but don't share it to your audience and expect a lot of interaction, because people don't interact with company pages. They interact with people. And at the end of the day, you're the person behind the company. So they'll be interacting with you, not with your company page. You know, on sometimes, and I was just thinking about it now, when you get a notification to say that you should comment on a trending post as your company.
Yes, I get those.
You know what? That's fine. I don't particularly have a problem with that, but I don't comment as my company page.
Yes.
I will go and like it, and I know Chantal absolutely hates it when you just like a post of something without adding value to it. But from a company page perspective, what value can you really add?
True. Absolutely.
I don't know. Chantal, what about you? What do you?
You know what? I agree with you. I think LinkedIn is, we come back to the purpose, a professional networking platform. People network with people. People don't network with companies.
Correct.
So again, the purpose of a company page for me is credibility. I have a company page to point to the fact that I'm a credible entity. But all of my interaction, and I know Stephanie's as well, is personal because we are business people. The only time there's a bit of a difference is I can think about when I teach candidates how to access the hidden job market. So we'll go onto a company page, let's call it Microsoft's company page. Now there's a little button in the bottom right-hand corner of the company page that says see all the employees of this company on LinkedIn. And that is a wonderful research tool for targeting companies in the hidden job market. But if you land on my company page, you're not going to benefit from that because there's one employee right now, me, myself, and I. Same for Steph. So for big companies, that's great. That is great from a research perspective. But other than that, Stephanie, I think it's a credibility thing. That's how I use my company page.
Absolutely, and I have to agree with you in that regard as well. You know, it's great. I think it just completes you as a business person to have a company profile, as opposed to being a business person who doesn't work for where they said they're working, and you know, just there's no streamline to it. It goes completely in different directions.
Absolutely. And I think this is the skill that I was talking about earlier. And I really just want to bring this story in as a kind of a closing remark. I bump into this lady on LinkedIn quite often, and she's a real estate agent. And all of her career history is in real estate and in administration and in property sales. But she advertises and she puts content out about doing CVs and writing CVs for people. And of course, this grates me because of my profession, because I keep thinking she's not credible. But I can't imagine, first of all, how she gets business. But second of all, I can't imagine if I was in the job market, how I would ever approach someone like that. And I think that's the cautionary I want to give you guys. Use LinkedIn to check people's credibility and to check that they can do what they say they can do. We live in an age full of scams and all sorts of dodgy things, and you want to work with a bona fide entity. So make sure you research the person and perhaps the business they claim to work for. Anything to add, Steph?
Nothing to add. I think we've covered it all.
Awesome. You all have a fabulous week, and we will see you next week, Tuesday, bright and early.
Take care.